Hello, my name is Dr. Steele, and welcome to Steele Mathematics, where lessons in Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, and Calculus are taught. And today we are going to talk about triangles. Now, a triangle is a three-sided polygon. It is made up of three line segments: line segment AB, line segment BC, and line segment AC. They are called the sides. The point that connects each pair of sides is called a vertex. Vertices is plural for vertex. So point A, B, and C are the vertices. When you name a triangle, you name the triangle for its three vertices, and they can be named in any order. It could be named triangle ABC, and by the way, the triangle in front of the names of the three vertices is the symbol meaning triangle. Triangle ACB, triangle BAC, triangle CAB, and so forth. Just name the triangle after the three vertices, and they can be named in any order. So now we have sides that are adjacent to an angle and sides that are opposite the angle. A side of a triangle is adjacent to an angle if and only if it is one of the sides of the angle. Otherwise, it is opposite the angle. So if you look at each angle of a triangle, two of the sides are adjacent to it, and the remaining one is opposite. Let's see what that looks like. If you look at angle A, segment AC and segment AB are adjacent to angle A, whereas segment BC is opposite angle A. Segment AB and segment BC are adjacent to angle B. Segment AC is opposite angle B. And segment AC and segment BC are adjacent to angle C. And segment AB is opposite angle C. So it is very important to identify which two sides are adjacent to an angle and which side is opposite an angle. Two sides that share a vertex are consecutive sides. So if you look at segment AB and segment BC, they share B as a vertex. Segment BC and segment AC are consecutive angles, and as you can see, they share C as a vertex. Segment AC and segment AB are consecutive sides because they share A as a vertex. So not only sides can be consecutive, angles can be consecutive as well. If two angles share a side, they are consecutive. So angle A and angle B are consecutive angles because they share segment AB as a side. Angle B and angle C are consecutive angles because they share segment BC as a side. Angle A and angle C are consecutive angles because they share segment AC as a side. So if two angles of a triangle share a side, they are consecutive. And two sides are consecutive if they share a vertex. Triangles can be classified by the measures of at least one of the angles, and they can also be classified by how many of their sides are congruent or equal, having equal lengths. So if we look at the first three triangles, you have the acute triangle. All three of the angles are acute angles. In other words, each angle measures less than 90 degrees. Then you have the right triangle. One angle is a right angle. One of the angles measures exactly 90. Now the right triangles has sides that have special names. The two perpendicular sides, or the two sides that make up that right angle, are the legs. And the third side, the side opposite the right angle, is called the hypotenuse. So the right triangle has two legs and an hypotenuse. That's the only triangle whose sides have special names. The other triangles don't have special names for their sides. So finally, you have the obtuse triangle, where one of the angles is an obtuse angle, or more than 90 degrees. Sides can also be classified by how many of their sides are congruent or have equal lengths. The sides of a scalene triangle are all different lengths. None of them are congruent. Then we have the isosceles triangles, where at least two of the sides are congruent or have equal lengths. This is indicated by the hash marks that you see on it. Now, just like the right triangle, the sides of an isosceles triangle have special names. The two congruent sides, or the two equal sides, are the legs, but the third side is called the base. Then you have the equilateral triangle. All three sides are congruent. All three sides are equal. Now, one side note about the equilateral triangle. Not only all three sides are equal, but all three angles are equal or congruent. And later on, after I talk about one of the theorems I'm going to tell you about later on, you're going to figure out what is the measure of each angle of an equilateral triangle. And this is the theorem I'm talking about, the triangle sum theorem. The sum of the angles of a triangle is, wait for it, 180 degrees. All three of these angles add up to be 180. That's what the triangle sum theorem is saying. Now, I would like to introduce to you, well, first, before I introduce to you the exterior angle, I want to show you some examples. Let's say you're asked to find the missing measure. On number one, you're given that the two angles are 82 degrees and 58 degrees. And you're asked to find the third one. Okay, by the triangle sum theorem, all three angles are supposed to add up to be 180. So the first thing you do, you're going to add the 82 and the 58. And that gives you 140. And to find the measure of the third angle, you subtract 140 from 180, and now give you 40 degrees. Therefore, the missing angle is 40 degrees. All right, number two, another triangle. Remember, the sum of all three angles is supposed to be 180. So you're going to add 43 and 24. You will get 67. And then you subtract 67 from 180, and you're going to get 113 degrees. So the measure of the missing side is 113 degrees. Number 3, you're going to add up 36 and 102. And that will give you 138. And then you do 180 minus 138. And that gives you 42 degrees. So the measure of the missing angle is 42 degrees. So that comes from the triangle sum theorem. All three angles add up to be 180 degrees. So now the next concept I want to introduce to you is the interior angle and an exterior angle. An interior angle is made up of two sides of a triangle. An exterior angle is made up of a side and an extension of another side. Now, the definition of an exterior angle is very specific. Okay? So, angle F, angle G, and angle FHG are interior angles. And that's these three angles right here. And angle FHI is an exterior angle. Let me erase these right quick. And that will be this angle. That would be an exterior angle. It's made up of a side and an extension of another side. Now keep in mind about the real definition of an exterior angle. Be very careful. Angle IGS is outside of the triangle. However, it's not considered an exterior angle. Remember, the definition of exterior angle is very specific. It's got to be a side and an extension of another side. And as you can see, ray GS is not an extension of side FG. Therefore, angle IGS is not considered an exterior angle. So be very careful. So with that being said, I want to introduce you a pair of remote interior angles. A pair of remote interior angles of an exterior angle of a triangle are the interior angles that are not adjacent to the exterior angle. So here's the exterior angle right here. That's angle FHI. The two interior angles that are not adjacent to it are angle F and angle G. They're not next to that angle. They're away from it. So when you think of the word remote, like a remote control to a television, it is away from the TV. So angle F and angle G are away from angle FHI. And there's a theorem, the exterior angle theorem. The measure of an exterior angle of a triangle equals the sum of the measures of its remote interior angle. So if you add up two interior angles, angle F and angle G, you would get angle FHI, the exterior angle. So here are some examples. Number 4, you're given that two interior angles are 30 and 106, and they want you to find the exterior angle. Well, excuse me. The exterior angle is the sum of its two remote interior angles. That's by the exterior angle theorem. So all you got to do is add up 30 and 106. And that will give you 136 degrees. Remember, the angle we look for is an exterior angle, not the other interior angle. You don't subtract from 180. And the same thing with number 5. You're going to add up 80 and 51, and you get 131 degrees. So the measure of the exterior angle is 131. But pay close attention to number 6, because on number 6, they gave you the exterior angle, which is 131 degrees. And they gave you one of the remote interior angles, which is 52. And they asked you to find the measure of the other interior angle. So all you got to do is subtract 32 from 131, 52 from 131, and you would get 79 degrees. So the measure of the missing angle is 79 degrees. So now let's say you ask to find the value of x. Now what you're doing here is you're using one of the two theorems to set up your equation, and then you solve it. So if you look at number 7, you see the three angles of a triangle are 7x plus 1, 115, and 9x. You're going to use the triangle sum theorem to set up the equation. And what that theorem says is all three angles add up to be 180. So you would do 7x plus 1 plus 9x plus 115 equal 180. We use the triangle sum theorem to set it up. So now all you got to worry about is solving the equation. And we start by combining your like terms. So we got 7x plus 9x, which is 16x, and 1 plus 115 is 116. Subtract 116 from both sides, and you will get 16x equal 64. Divide both sides by 16, and you will get 4. Therefore, the solution is 4. On number 8, we have the exterior angle equal 19x plus 3, and its two remote interior angles being 11x minus 5 and 9x plus 1. So we use the exterior angle theorem to set up the equation. So the exterior angle, which is 19x plus 3, equal the sum of its two remote interior angles, which is 11x minus 5 plus 9x plus 1. So now that we set up the equation, all we got to do is solve it. So we're at 19x plus 3 equal. Now on the other side, we're going to combine alike terms. 11x plus 9x is 20x, and negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So now we're going to subtract 19x from both sides, and you will get 3 equal x minus 4. Then we add 4 to both sides, and you'll get 7 equal x. And therefore, the solution is 7. So in today's lesson, we have learned what a triangle is. We learned that the three angles of a triangle equals 180. And we have learned that the measure of an exterior angle equals the sum of its two remote interior angles. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day.